So good morning, beloveds. Good morning. And I do mean beloveds. I don't use that deep term without meaning, because we are each expressing the beloved to each one of us every moment of our lives. The founder of the science of mind, this teaching, Dr. Ernest Holmes, he wrote in our Science of Mind textbook, and I quote, "God's world is perfect, and this is the principle we have to demonstrate. Spiritual things must be spiritually discerned, and when we are ready and willing to discern, we shall find a ready response from the invisible into the visible. Let us do our work conscientiously and thoroughly, and leave the results to the law, which is perfect." End quote. That last line is where many of us find we fall short, leaving the results to the law, which is perfect. If we would let that perfect law outpicture without our resistance to it, oh, how sweet it is. So here we are in perfect time and perfect space, and seated in the perfect place, next to the perfect persons. Take a moment. Look at the person to your left and to the right. Look back and forth. Those in the same row, do the opposite, look left, right, left, right, left, right. You may want to look behind you and in front of you. See the space. See the space that we're in. Feel where you are. Be present. Relax into where you are. This is called being present. Because where you are is all there really is. Where we are right now, in this moment, is all that really matters. You are one of a kind, as is this moment. You are one of a kind, just like I am. Did you know that? One of a kind, which is short for you are kindness in expression. Many of you were here, and many of you heard we had the Rumi Caravan Friday evening. It was a magnificent feeling that I received, so I used a bit of Rumi this morning. I am so small I can barely be seen. How can this great love be inside me? Look at your eyes. They are small, but they see enormous things. Beautiful souls, beautiful beings. This is a moment of perfection. And so is the next moment. And so is the next moment. And so on. Why do we fear the so on? Jesus is noted as saying, "Know ye not, ye are gods." What does that mean? The question I'll restate. Do you not know you are a child of the Most High, which is the perfection within and without? We're born in this perfection as the child. It never leaves us. We leave it. In this teaching, Science of Mind, it is a compilation of universal truth, a generally accepted spiritual idea, which encompasses many, many, many of the world religions. So here is the truth for me as I know it to be about all of that. There is one God expressing as all life, One God. Many names. One God. And we are divine expressions of this one, with all of its aspects. All the love, the joy, the beauty, the harmony, every aspect that comes to your mind is true for you. Now we have the opportunity to open to this idea of bounty. But we must allow it through us. When I was growing up, I always loved my allowance. Anyone get an allowance as a child? Oh yeah, I still like getting an allowance. It's part of the flow, part of the acceptance, part of the giving, part of the receiving. But we must allow this bounty, this idea, this good that we are born into to become through us. But we have to open to it. We've got to open that door. We have to open our mind to that great love inside. We must, in other words, save room for dessert, which is my title today. Now, I like dessert in the food realm. And I was taught early on to save room for dessert. So that's where the title comes from. And have all that you want to eat. But if you want dessert, you know, it's best if you be mindful of that. So I learned that early. Save room for dessert. But for the teaching this morning, where do we save room for dessert? What does that mean? We must save room in our consciousness. In our consciousness, in our mind. Saving room for dessert is being open to more of the truth of our spiritual being. To allow that to rise up and be savored. It's so sweet. So what is opening to the truth? And what is the truth here? Well, truth is that thing which is infinite. That thing that never changes. And truth continually unfolds in the consciousness of each one of us. It is here, we are allowing it through. It never changes. We block it, we embrace it, we open to it, we get to grow because of it. The unfolding of truth in our consciousness is that draw of spirit. Now, sometimes it's a still small voice, beckoning. Other times, it yanks us as though we're going through a knothole, doesn't it? But it gets our attention, doesn't it? Either way, evolve we must, and grow we must. We live in a world of continuous experiences, choices, and results. That brought me to a memory before my time. It was a TV game show called Truth or Consequences. Anyone ever hear of that? Read about that? Know of that? Well, the premise of the show was to mix the quiz element of a game show that resulted in wacky results and funny stunts. Cause and effect. Well, there are times our life can resemble truth or consequences. Am I right? Sometime every day I play that game. I get a, what? Where'd that come from? A wacky result. Sometimes they're smooth, sometimes they're wacky, but it is a part of the human experience. Ram Dass tells us, we are in the perfect circumstances for our souls to learn that they are designed, that they designed this whole game in order to learn. We're in the perfect circumstances for our souls to learn that they designed this whole game in order to learn. How many students are here today? How many of you are learning every single day? I am. And so the call is to be willing to accept more truth as that which we already are. What is true for us is not new to us. It may be new to our realization of who we are, but it's always been who we are. So I invite you again to save room for dessert with that idea. Open the mind to a greater realization of your good, which is the inner God, ever evolving in your consciousness. You are a spiritual magnificent. I look at you when I see you come in every morning here, and I look at you. Do you know that? I look at you because I want to see you. And I love it when you let me in because I get to see you. And, pardon me, I'm having a moment. So being open is a term that Science of Mind uses a lot. There's a book called Open at the Top by Dr. Ernest Holmes. But what are we open to? What is that we have to open to? Well, I think it's to be open to whatever may be your deepest desire, your intention for your life. So I'm open to peace. I'm open to freedom. I'm open to my allowance. Monetary abundance. I'm open to vibrant health. And yes, I'm open to more love. Always open to more love. Are you willing to open to something new? There's always space to create. Now, it's okay to say, no, not now. And Spirit will say, okay, not now, when you're ready. But there's always space to create something new. And even though you aren't creating new, you're creating what is, because we're always creating. Where do we create? In consciousness. There must be a mental agreement for whatever's next. It's like signing a contract to build something or to buy something. It's a consciousness, spiritual agreement for whatever's next for our life. We must always save room for that piece of dessert. Last time I offered the Sunday inspiration here, I gave myself a new moniker or a label. Remember what it was? Wonderman. Because I wonder a lot. I wonder a lot. I question. I question me. I question you. I question a lot. So are you leaving room, offering space for the questions of your life to come into more clarity? Like the TV game Truth or Consequences? Are you allowing the clarity from that life situation to come through you to allow you to be the you that you know you are in truth? I didn't always do that. I used to feel so important when my calendar was full. Anybody else? Every single minute, every single day, oh my gosh, way into the future. And I, like many, stayed so busy I lost sight of my true joy. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Well, I went to my bookshelf in my library and I pulled out a book from Dr. Tom Johnson, who is no longer on the planet in the physical form, but his words live on. And his book, You Are Always Your Own Experience, came right before me. And this I quote, "Too many people do not want to know new aspects of their self. They hang on to the old familiar things and tie themselves to the people who have been in their lives forever. These are the people who have been in their lives forever. They are bereft should some precious article be taken from them. The person who is self-aware is never caught off guard and is never lost when things or people go out of their life. Not that he does not appreciate these people and those things, but he is involved with his work, his purpose, and reason for being, which is unfoldment, not the collecting of things. End quote. Well, I have been unfolding since October 2013. My beloved partner of 42 years made his transition. It was sudden. My world as I knew it came to a halt. My life was good. And then it changed. It changed. It shifted. I was bereft for a period of time. I went through the motions of living my life. Full calendar. Every moment was full. Way ahead. Didn't have to think. I was in a process called spiritual unfolding, working through lots of yuck and muck and disbelief and resistance. And I reverted to something familiar, an old and comfortable childhood reaction. Withdrawal. Anyone else do that? It's safe. You don't have to feel. I shut down. To most people, they noted that I had become very productive and busy. And they said, "Oh, you're doing so well." And we can do that on the outside. We can do a play. Diana. I mean, she's a great actress in theater. I want to be clear on that one. Or we can deflect, like I just did, when I get uncomfortable. And that was well. That was all well to do. Well, I said, I discovered recently something about myself, and it was this. I wasn't living fully. I wasn't living fully. And I share with you a writing that sort of explains what we do at those times of being busy. It's called Dust If You Must. Remember, a layer of dust protects the wood beneath it. Is your furniture well protected? Mine is. A house becomes a home when you can write "I love you" on the furniture. I used to spend at least 8 hours every weekend making sure things were just perfect in case someone came over. They were all out living and having fun. Now when people visit, I don't have to explain the condition of my home. They are more interested in hearing about the things I've been doing while I was having fun. If you haven't figured this out yet, please heed this advice. Life is short. Enjoy it. Dust if you must. But wouldn't it be better to paint a picture, bake cookies or a cake and lick the spoon, or plant a seed? It is time to ponder the difference between want and need. Dust if you must, but that's not all that much time. There's not all that much time for us, especially with wine to drink, rivers to swim, and mountains to climb, music to hear and books to read, friends to cherish, and life to lead. Dust if you must, but the world's out there, and the sun in your eyes, with the wind in your hair, with a flutter of snow, and a shower of rain, like today. This is the day that we were born into, and this day will not come around again. So, my friends, dust if you must. Well, I'm so busy living and I'm so grateful that I don't have time to dust. So I got rid of a lot of my stuff. Now there's a solution. Don't want it dusted? Sell it. Helps my allowance.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I'm living now, dusting less, saying no to the how, and to the joy I say yes. I'm living now. Let us say that. Would you like to say that? I'm living now, dusting less, saying no to the how, and to the joy. Yes. I'm living now. So as we enter into this Thanksgiving week, let us see and be and appreciate where we are. Now is one of the best times to remember not only the goodies on the table, but also the good available in our lives. Family, friends, and food. I refer to these three, this combination as the turkey trilogy. Family, friends, and food. So let us take a moment to close our eyes and give thanks to the almighty turkey. Amen. Namaste. And so it is.